home against Brighton. Liverpool against West Ham tomorrow as well. 10th versus 6th coming into this weekend. Also Reading versus Spurs. 11th against 7th as we went into this weekend's action. Our focus here, though, on if Everton can come back and spring a surprise, or Arsenal can get back to winning ways in the WSL after that defeat against Manchester United, which was their first in their last 19 WSL home games, winning 16 of those and drawing a couple since losing 2-1 against Manchester City in February last year. They've now got to rebuild their confidence somewhat as well, which has been dented by the injuries to the camp. Of course, legendary Arsenal men's manager Arsene Wenger once said quite philosophically that with confidence you go up in the stairs, you come down in the elevator. And the first win in 3 after that draw in Turin as well would certainly do its bit to help Arsenal fans and players and all of a disposition for the red side of North London feel better about life. Fancy. Okay. Lovely turn to get away from Benison. Leovalti style turn, if you will. Blackstenius slides it through. Ford. Ford's cross deflected. Almost runs for Blackstenius, who nearly scores off the deflection. Messy defending from Everton, who get a bit lucky in truth. Ford's ball in, and it was cleared by Rika Sevica straight into the legs of Stina Blackstenius. Sevica normally so dependent at the back for Everton, the Dane, and you can see Arsenal set to press high, red and white shirts swarming forward. It's worked in terms of Everton conceding possession somewhat cheaply. Trying to find Park in the channel. Everton chasing a 3rd straight WSL away win for what would be the first time in more than a decade. Did it in August 2012 with 2-1 wins against Birmingham City, Doncaster Bells and Liverpool. But to win this game from here would be quite some story. George takes the throw. Also got a pretty dreadful travelling record in London in recent times, Everton. Haven't scored in their last 6 away league trips to the capital since winning 3-2 at Spurs back in February last year. Good challenge from Wubben-Moy just to half slow Everton down. Everton again looking forward in a more direct way for Park or Beaver-Jones, but misplaced. Zinsberger can get Arsenal going. Pass back is not the best one at all. Zinsberger has to hurry back into a goal. Very careless this from Arsenal. Looking back for fellow Austrian international teammate. Thankfully, the pass was off target in terms of being goal-bound. Everton away travelling fans in that corner, just giving a bit of encouragement to Elisa Stejnovic. You can see that pocket of blue in the top right-hand corner of your screen behind where Stejnovic is taking this in-swinging corner. Swung in. Stejnovic only headed half away. Comes back for Park. Park's going to hit one, but nothing for Zinsberger to be concerned about. Now Everton can recycle. Nice to see those travelling Everton fans here. Of course, away ends has been a topic of recent discussion. There's no doubt the difference that can make to an atmosphere, as we saw with the Manchester United fans on their side. One at the Emirates. If you want to get involved and you are an Everton fan, worth having a look at ELFC fans. Everton Women's Supporters Club run by Julie Makin. There's also EWFC TV worth checking out on Twitter for plenty of video content from all things Everton women. Here's Ford, might shoot, does shoot. Comes back for Leon Hudson-Mornham. Now Valti. Valti once more. We really need a second goal here, Arsenal. Everton will still feel rightly right in this contest. They've more than played their part in it, but here goes Ford. Ford goes down. And Sonny Gill says free kick right on the edge of the box. The contact was definitely outside of it. Even though by the time Ford went to ground, she was in the penalty area. It's just there, Lucy Graham shoved Ford in the back a touch. Could be the left-footed outswinger of Steph Catley or the right-footed inswinger of Frida Leonardson-Mornham. Two very good options for Arsenal to have. Which one will they go with? Catley or Leonardson-Mornham? It's Leonardson-Mornham, and it dips just over. Ramsey had it covered. Norwegian nearly on target yet again this season. Looks like it was more of a shot than a cross. Frida Leonardson-Mornham, who did a podcast that's well worth listening to, the Their Pitch podcast, where she talked amongst other things about the pronunciation of her name and her double-barreled surname, saying in response to what she goes by, I go with both names. In England, they pronounce it totally wrong. They say Marnham, which is wrong, but I can take it. And amongst other things, a lot more serious footballing topics also discussed by Frida Leonardson-Mornham on that Their Pitch podcast. Episode 7 a little while back now. Well worth a listen. Catley. Leonardson-Mornham. Cross swung in. Ramsey had to make sure, and did. Everton fans making themselves heard, trying to inspire their side getting back into this one. Ramsey under a bit of pressure. Beatty's header gives it back to Everton, who can build through Benison. All round the corner, well cut out by Catley. Slightly loose pass. Ruben Moy had to be careful back there. Now Catley. Mead for Ford. Miedemar. And Sevica. Ford again. Leonardson-Mornham. Ford. Ford's cross. Headed half the way for Wienreuter to strike. Just wouldn't quite drop. It was one of those. She was waiting for it to come down. Ford's cross. Wienreuter trying to take it on the half volley on a less preferred left foot. Rika Sevica was in there. Beth Mead was on my mind because I was about to mention that you might have seen a lot of chatter about Arsenal looking to eventually play all their games at the Emirates, but for now they've got to deal with Brougham Wood and Meadow Park, which lasts until 2027, and of course a lot of Arsenal fans colloquially refer to this place as Meadow Park in honour of Beth Mead. In comes the corner from Catley. Not cleared. Proper game of pinball in there. Can they get it in, Arsenal? Miedemar tries twice and somehow doesn't. A 6-yard box scramble. Everton survive. Many aren't sure how. Blackstenius. Look at Miedema, still has got her hands on her head in disbelief as to how she didn't score. Let's have a look back at it. Drops for Miedema there. He's just trying to force it through a pair of legs. It's a great save by Ramsey, and then Ramsey saves twice before it's cleared off the line by Natalie Bjorn. Magnificent, dogged, determined defence from Everton. Now, slight delay here as Gabby George is down. Gabby George, who often has footballing conversations with her cousin, Jessie Lingard, about all things to do with being a professional footballer, if it comes to on or off the field. Not a bad person to have a chat to. Gabby George with comfortably more than 100 appearances for Everton, continuing the line of very impressive graduates that have come out of that Everton Centre of Excellence over the years. You think further back, the likes of Nikita Paris, Alex Greenwood and Tony Duggan, amongst many. Everton down to 10 for the set piece then. Can Arsenal make them pay for that? Frida Leonardson-Mornham. Leonardson-Mornham's ball in. Just about kept alive. It ran through that 6-yard box. Ford couldn't get a touch on it. Frida Leonardson-Mornham, whose outswinging corner led to the equaliser against Juventus. An outswinging corner Viviana Miedema had the football IQ to specifically request, because she'd spotted that that was what would expose Juventus's defensive weaknesses best. And Leonardson-Mornham delivered with a perfect outswinging corner that allowed Miedema to get an equaliser, putting Arsenal on to 7 points from 3 games. Of course, they've got Juventus at home on Wednesday. That's one of the reasons why this match was brought forward by a day. Same with Chelsea against Leicester. Arsenal with that 5-1 win at Lyon in particular, helping them to take control of the group. Strange one, only in the sense that both teams actually had the exact same number of expected goals, 1.7 each. Just that Arsenal were particularly ruthless in taking their chances. And they'll, of course, welcome Lyon to the Emirates later this month. Here's Ford. Ford cutting inside. Leonardson-Mornham shoots into the body of George. Now Wienreuter. McCabe. Inside for Valti. Referee Gill has to get out of the way. Valti, of course, got her first WSL goal in the win at Liverpool earlier on in the campaign. Celebrated with 2 hours of leaf picking in the garden, helped out by her flatmate and new assistant gardener, Caitlin Ford, with a broom. Indeed, at one point previously, Steph Catley's dog Calvin had been photoed carrying a leaf inside as a sign of wanting to help out with the operation. Some Arsenal fans jokingly suggesting the Swiss captain gets a gold-plated leaf blower to make future gardening easier. Here's Ford. Now Valti, clever cross and smashed over by McCabe. That's a real chance for Arsenal to get this second goal that's been eluding them. And it's another chance that goes a-begging. Really intelligent ball in from Leah Valti. And there was McCabe. Katie McCabe, who is yet to score for Arsenal this season, albeit obviously gives so much to the team beyond just that. With her positional flexibility, assists and secondary assists. As here come Everton, and what a chance this is round Zinsberger, and Aggie Beever-Jones eventually is stopped by the Austrian. Everton's first real chance in this second half of any note at all. Arsenal just caught napping on the counter-attack. Everton desperate to make Arsenal pay for not taking their opportunities to get that second goal. Corner zinged in towards that far post. Ruben Moy got an important touch because Rika Sevica was waiting for it. Park wins the corner. And the Everton fans right next to where it will be taken. In fact, it's a throw. Are very much vocal in their belief Everton can get back into this, and why shouldn't they be? Everton playing brilliantly, giving Arsenal all sorts of problems. Just about kept in. Niedermark can try and get Arsenal going. Beaver Jones. Beaver Jones's cross. And he falls for Leonardson Mornham. There's the throw-in. Arsenal, whose chief executive, Vinay Venkateshan, told the Telegraph's Tom Gary about their future ambitions to play all games at the Emirates. But for now, the land doesn't really exist to build a medium-sized stadium as such. As mentioned, the deal with Meadow Park runs until 2027. Arsenal playing all their Champions League group stage games at the Emirates, as well as regular league fixtures throughout the season, which of course will take a break later on this month. The second half of the WSL campaign is going to be incredibly exciting and very testing for Arsenal. This is Ford. Remember, Arsenal have still got to play Manchester City twice. Manchester United, for now, they might have their second goal. It didn't quite run for McCabe. Of course, the second half of the season starts with playing Chelsea on the 15th of January. Those two sides yet to meet in the league last season. This season, I should say. Last season, they saw plenty of each other in both the league and the cup. Chelsea knocking Arsenal out of the semi-final of last season's FA Cup and the final of competition from the season before, which was delayed until early last season due to COVID. Arsenal did beat Chelsea at the Emirates. It was Chelsea went on to take the title. What a flick from Ford. Here's Miedema, slides it through. Doesn't quite run for Blackstenius. There was Gabby George. Catley wins it back with some very good aggressive pressing. Now Leonardson Mornham wasn't quite taken cleanly by Ramsey. Everton still right in this game. Very nervy, intense here at Meadow Park. You can feel that particularly from the Arsenal fans. They can't really afford to drop points. Stopped on by Ford. Miedema. Still Miedema. And still Miedema. Trying to make room for the shot. And it takes a double team of Natalie Bjorn and Rika Sevica to deal with it. Steph Catley across to take the corner. Some fans singing up for Beth Mead with her best known song in support of Mead, who's currently out with an ACL injury. Catley floats one in, headed away. McCabe. Beattie, an unfamiliar left wing position. Ford. Now McCabe. Headed away for Beattie to strike one on the volley. Just wide from Jem Beattie. Well, that would have been some way for Jem Beattie to score her first goal this season with a dipping volley from the inside left channel on the outside of her right foot. You've got slightly unlikely odds on that one. Mentioned in the first half as well, let us know where you're watching from. Great to hear people right across the globe tuning in to enjoy some Barclays WSL on this Saturday afternoon, including in Berlin, China, Wyoming in the USA. Manus on a cloudy and dark afternoon in Oslo, enjoying the fact that there's Norwegian players on both sides today. And Joss watching in Australia, waiting for the Women's World Cup to start. You don't have to wait too much longer. Starting in late July, of course, Australia and New Zealand co-hosting. Plenty of Australian representation out there today for Arsenal, of course. Australia in Group B against the Republic of Ireland, Nigeria and Canada. Stenius. Miedemar. Too close to Ramsey. Certainly in the mood for more goals today, Vivianne Miedemar. A joy to watch in full flight. Just trying to curl that one into the far corner. Miedemar, who consoled her partner and teammate Beth Mead in the way that only she could with her dry Dutch humour. Caption of the two of them on the tube. And Miedemar highlighting a sign related to priority seating, picking out the phrase "less able to stand" in relation to Beth Mead's ACL injury. Here's Miedemar again. Ford's ball in, hits the side netting. I think she was looking to cross rather than shoot, just didn't catch it as she'd have liked, Caitlin Ford. He started out life as a winger, but was converted to being a right back at 16 years old, and actually broke into the national team as a right back. Spent 4 years or so there, then worked her way back up the pitch, winning Best Young Player at the 2011 FIFA World Cup. Leah Williamson is warming up. It looks to me like she might be making her return in mere moments. Miedemar on for McCabe. Valti. Lotte Wubben-Moy. Hudson Mornham. McCabe. Valti. Catley. Ford. Miedemar back. Arsenal content to be patient in possession. Looking to pick the lock. Valti. Miedemar. Blackstenius. And then shot by Leonardson Mornham just over. Plenty of power, not quite enough precision from the Norwegian. Flashes over. Ramsey was certainly troubled by it. The cheers will tell you that Leah Williamson is about to come on and make her 200th appearance for Arsenal. Back from injury, a milestone moment for one of England's very greatest. Noel Maritz comes on as well. Laura Wienreuter and Jem Beattie have made way. Williamson, as well as Haveli Souza, into the matchday squad for the first time in 9 games. Since the 1-0 win at Ajax in late September that secured Arsenal's progression into the Champions League group stages. Williamson, who of course is known for her fashion off the pitch as well. Fans commenting that at the National Television Awards she even managed to somehow make the protective boot that she had on as part of her foot injury somehow look stylish. There's Leonardson Mornham. Dispossessed, and now Everton can try to build something, having been on the back foot in the last few moments of this one. Benison trying to find Snoyce. Sinsberger comes out. Stenius couldn't quite bring it under control. Now Everton pressing a bit higher. I've had their chances on the break today, no doubt. There's been a lot of positives that come out of this one for Everton, regardless of the result from here. Bjorn. Dispossessed by McCabe, and then Bjorn slides in on Valti. And that is going to be Everton's first yellow card of the game. Matthew Bjorn goes in the book and can have few complaints. It's a 4th of the season as well. Getting close to getting a suspension as a result of those bookings. Ford. Catley. There's a throw. Miedemar is trying to link up with Blackstenius. Couldn't quite catch up with the change of direction. Cleared under pressure. Didn't quite run for Park. Ford on for Blackstenius. Blackstenius to strike. Did get a little nick on the way through. Arsenal will have to settle for the corner. Arsenal still chasing this second goal. Everton have had to defend bravely to keep it at 1. Leonardson-Mornham to take the corner. And it comes, nodded down, and another good save from Ramsey. Denying Wubben-Moy. And then Leonardson-Mornham put it back towards goal. The pressure stays on. Good floated delivery, good leap as well from Lotte Wubben-Moy, who is yet to score this season for the Gunners. Nicolene Sorensen ready to make her return to action for Everton. It won't come on quite yet. Leonie Meyer, the former Arsenal player, is also stripped and ready to come on. Just taking a tracksuit off. Catley's ball in. Headed half away. Leonardson-Mornham. Cleared only as far as Wubben-Moy. Now McCabe. Blocked by George. McCabe in. Comes off Williamson. And it almost ran for Blackstenius. Neil Williamson, of course, back on the pitch today, and psychologically, as well as in a footballing sense, that will mean so much for Arsenal, who've been very careful about managing Aaron Hafeali's recovery. And Isaiah saying it doesn't matter how much you love your job, you always need to take vacation to reconnect. That's something deeply human. Talked about how the club prioritised the mental as well as physical recuperation in the rehab process of their 2 centre-halves. Players given time away from London Colney to make up for the vacation that they missed in the summer. McCabe has options. Still McCabe, blocked by Sevica. Everton having to do a lot of defending to stay right in this one. Corner to come in from Steph Catley. Can Arsenal find a second goal that would go a long way to sealing 3 points? Now to run all the way through to McCabe. And wide it goes. Now Everton can make their changes. Lucky Beaver-Jones making way for Nicolene Sorensen to make her return. The first time back playing in an Everton shirt in 435 days since rupturing her ACL last September against Birmingham City. So how will those subs help Everton to find a route back? Aurora Gali as well has come on for Anna Benison. That will be a straight swap in the central midfield area. Gali, the first Italian to play in the WSL, as well as also scoring it too. Looking at Aston Villa last season, in fact a goal that was assisted by Benasson, who she's just come on for. What a story it would be if Nicolene Sorensen can help Everton back into this after a long return, but for now, Everton have got to absorb more pressure. Catley, good cross, and turned just wide by Blackstenius. They still can't quite find that second goal. They've been pushing regularly across this second half. Another change for Arsenal. And it is Stina Blackstenius to make way. It'll be something of a reorganisation, because Jordan Nobbs is not playing as Arsenal's target striker, of course. Nobbs, who moved out into a wide right midfield role as part of a tactical organisation recently. So Arsenal now made 3 changes, Everton a couple. Interception there from Leonard Simona. Now Nobbs gets her first touch after coming on. Valti. Catley linking up with Leah Valti, who's spoken very eloquently about plenty of off-pitch issues as well as on it, including saying men's football is not yet a safe place for a gay player. They don't seem ready for it. Sadly, there are still too many people in our society who are not enlightened, perhaps not intelligent enough to have recognised the signs of the times. Something that is a very noticeable difference between the women's and men's football communities in terms of the LGBTQ+ community very much being open and welcomed. As a member of that community myself, I can certainly say how appreciative I am of that women's football space as Ford tries to slide it through, but Ramsey gathers. Slip, hands the ball to Ford. Now Nobbs tries to find Miedemar. Cut out by Graham. Park. She makes something happen for Everton. Gali on the turn. Slid through the lines for Sorensen. George. Everton have caused Arsenal a lot of problems today, and they've had chances on the counter-attack as well. Bjorn. Uniside, I've said pre-match that Everton have had a real change of expectations from when he first came here. Everton were going to compete for Champions League qualification. That's not really the expectation. He said he doesn't think they've lost a huge amount of players from that team, and it's still very dangerous. Here's Park. Certainly is dangerous. Blocked well by Williamson. Without adding that he thinks that Everton are playing more relaxed now because they don't have the expectations on them to challenge for the Champions League spots. He thinks that that's helped their performances, and it's important to match expectations with realities. Here comes Miedemar streaking clear. Fouled by George. Will be a yellow card as well for Gabby George. Stopping Viviana Miedemar in full flow. Arsenal still looking for this second goal. They just can't quite shake off Everton, who've been a real challenge today for the Gunners. Could be Steph Catley on her left. It might be Frida Leonardson-Mornham on her right. It's Catley to strike. And there's Ramsey. Into the last 10 minutes. Remains 1-0. Slightly heavy touch there, and it allows Catley to come away. Attendance of just under 4,000 here at Meadow Park, 3,935. So that's a careless pass, and Hans Sorensen the chance up against Williamson. He did well to recover. Zinsberger. Leonardson-Mornham. Now McCabe. Takes the free kick. To the applause of the manager Jonas Eidevall, who's just behind her. Eidevall, who's changed a fair bit into his second season with the club now, is chatting to the man who took over from Joe Montemuro, who was telling me about the most notable things he's seen, which has been a big focus on defending from the front, a focus on aggressive pressing and 2 blocks of 3, explosive quick transitions, winning the ball, not having too many touches. Also said to me he expected to see Arsenal use a lot more of their wingers this season, and we have definitely seen that. Nob's trying to put the pressure on. Referee Gill says free kick to Everton. If you don't wish to know other scores, then mute your audio. There'll be plenty who will be interested in the fact that Chelsea are 2-0 up away at Leicester City, with that one approaching half-time. Gura Wrighton and Jessie Fleming with 2 early goals within the first quarter of an hour or so. Harris linking up with McCabe. Leonardson-Mornham. Plenty of space in behind here. Inside for Miedemar. Slightly heavy touch from Miedemar, who then committed a foul in trying to get the ball back. Pantomime boos from the home fans, to whom, of course, Miedemar can do no wrong, really. Understandable from their point of view, given everything she's done for Arsenal over the years. Was just a touch late from Viviana Miedemar, who sent records tumbling right throughout her time in England. Looks like Elisa Stanovic is going to come off in place of Leonie Meyer, who signed for Everton from Arsenal in the summer of 2021. Leonie Meyer on, who, as mentioned, signed for Everton from the Gunners, made 34 appearances in all competitions for Arsenal between 2019 and 2021. After building the first part of their footballing CV in Germany, most notably with Bayern Munich. Worth saying as well, I've mentioned the referee Sonny Gill today. He in his own way is something of a trailblazer, the first South Asian referee in the English Men's Football League since his dad Janal in 2010. Been promoted to the Men's EFL from the National League by the Professional Game Match Officials Limited, who also handle everything surrounding the Barclays Women's Super League 2. Chelsea have gone 3-0 up against Leicester City. Frank Kirby with the goal. We're on for a WSL debut after coming on for Natalie Bjorn, who's involved in that collision with Miedemar. Of course, a name well known to Everton fans. Her dad David, an Everton men's legend, as Graham's header is straight at Zinsberger. The brothers Lucas and Jensen are also footballers, so football very much running in the Weir family. Decent cross there, finding Lucy Graham up from the wing-back position. They've hung in this game really well, Everton. They've got to go for it now. I'd expect to see them commit a few more bodies forward. They can't really afford to let Arsenal just run down the clock by keeping possession. It's certainly worth risking losing 2-0 to get a goal that would highly likely secure them a precious point. And a rare draw. We've barely seen them in the WSL this season. Here's Ford, can make it 2-0, can wrap it up. It's Ford, great save, Ramsey. What a stop to keep Everton in it from Emily Ramsey. Caitlin Ford clear. Challenge did come in from Lucy Graham just to try and distract the Australian. And the Manchester United loanee makes the save. Frida Leonardson-Mornham goes across to take the set piece. Goes for Nobbs. And still in there, gathered by Ramsey. Really clever training ground move from Arsenal. It almost paid off. They still can't quite find this second goal. Everton have already made 4 subs. The only outfield player they've got left on the bench is the youngster Abby Clark. For now, no sub needed. Will be a fair chunk of stoppage time at this one when we get there. Arsenal looking for a second goal to make it a lot less nervy than it is right now. Leonardson-Mornham, Miedemar. Fabiana Miedemar, who won the March Player of the Month award from the PFA in the same month. Bukayo Saka won it on the men's side, and Arsenal did a joint video celebrating the achievements of both, in which Saka said how many goals has she scored, and she doesn't even celebrate when asking Miedemar if she had a trademark celebration in the way that Saka does. Miedemar, a player that makes scoring goals almost look routine and simple when others show it's anything but. Is George sliding it down the line? Is there a sting in the tail here for Arsenal? Sorensen's cross, it runs for Graham, saved by Zinsberger. And still in there. And blocked by Catley to deny Karen Holmgaard. Nervy moments for Arsenal. Everton so near to an equaliser. Lucy Graham denied by the feet of Zinsberger. Graham, whose last Everton goal came in April 2021 in the 3-1 home win against Aston Villa. 5 minutes added on at the back end of this one. In comes the corner towards Zinsberger, who does well to claim it. I mentioned that Lucy Graham's last goal came in the game against Aston Villa. She did also score against Aston Villa, the winner, earlier this season on the 22nd of October. Doesn't pop up with too many. It's been used far more as a wing-back this season in this system under Brian Sorensen. Everton looking in much better shape than last season when they finished 10th. Also have a very young squad, the youngest average age across all their starting 11s in the league this season. Not far off exactly 25 years old, 25 years and 83 days. Just a couple of months or so above that mark. Arsenal were a much more experienced side. The vast majority of their players in what you would think by conventional wisdom is something around the peak of their careers, in their late 20s. I know continuity was very much the message at Arsenal in the summer. As McCabe goes down, the last thing Arsenal need is more injuries. Could be a second yellow for Gabby George. An extended conversation with referee Sonny Gill, but not a second yellow card. You can hear what the home fans think of that. Good news for Arsenal is that Katie McCabe is back up. Injury crisis had got that bad at one point, with just 13 outfield fit senior first team players. Fans were joking about if Gunnosaurus, the mascot, could come in and do a job for them, but they're steadily, slightly improving those numbers, of course. There is Leah Williamson back today. Souza hasn't come on from the bench yet, but is back in the squad. Zinsberger comes out into the third of 5 minutes added on. Set piece for Everton in a dangerous area. You can hear the travelling Toffees trying to urge the ball into the net. What can Everton make of it? Decent delivery floated up, headed away by Miedemar back there. Valti couldn't bring it under control. Struck back goalwards by Leonie Meyer and hurriedly cleared. Still got a fair bit of time here, Everton. 5 minutes added on. Very much not in the sort of last kick of the game territory quite yet. And that's late again, and Arsenal will have another set piece to defend. Everton chasing an equaliser. The last time they didn't lose to Arsenal was more than a decade ago. 13 straight league defeats, 16 in all competitions. It would be absolutely massive for them if they can get something here. They have historically struggled against Chelsea, Manchester City and Arsenal in the league. Have to go back to September 2013 for the last time they beat any of them in the league. A 3-2 win against Chelsea when Tony Duggan, Michelle Hinnigan and Chantal Boy-Halorka were all on the score sheet. Club with such great history in their own right, though, Everton. Mentioned the Hollyoake WFC and then Liassol Pacific. Began using the Everton name in 1995, reached the Premier League Cup final in 97. And then moving further forward, won the Top Flight title in 1998. Had their debut European campaign in 2008. Reached the second group stage of what was then the UEFA Women's Cup. Reached the quarter-finals of the Champions League back in 2011, when they were a founding member of the WSL. Got relegated 3 years later, promoted back to the top flight in 2017, applying after Notts County folded, and Everton got in that way. Did nearly get relegated in the 18-19 season. Willie Kirk came in and helped them stay up, and have had finishes of 6th, 5th and 10th ever since. Ready to resume. Can Everton find a stoppage time equaliser? Decent delivery, nodded down and straight at Zinsberger, who will be in no rush to get back underway. We're now into overtime in stoppage time, but we have had that significant injury delay that's just happened, so there will be a little bit longer here for Everton to find something. Then Hudson Mornham. Now Graham back there to Ramsey. Just hammers it clear. Hurriedly cleared again. And Hudson Mornham cleverly leaves it, knowing she was offside. Miedemar heads for the corner. Ramsey with time running out. Can Everton find something? Handed away by Wubben-Moy. Miedemar has opened her own Cruyff Court in Hoogeveen, the city she grew up in. Said it was fantastic and really proud day. You don't realise how important a place like this is for kids to be able to play football together. The fact that it can bear my name makes me proud. I'll ask my parents to regularly check it out and hope it will be used to its full potential. Nice to see a place where young girls and boys can do their thing and dream of having the career that Vivianne Miedemar has. Great chance for Arsenal to just occupy the clock here with this free kick. Final whistle cannot be too far away. That's that here at Meadow Park. A moment of Miedemar magic makes the difference for Arsenal, who edged past a very brave and challenging Everton side by a 0-0 to get back to winning ways in the WSL and join Manchester United on 21 points from 8 games. Albeit they're behind Manchester United on goal difference, they do keep up the pressure on United, and then of course Chelsea, who are still in action against Leicester. A full-time score here: Arsenal 1, Everton 0.